Joey.
Yo, what?
Are you aware that we had a double homicide close to us recently?
I do not keep up with the news. I have no idea.
This is the second time we're recording this. So, yeah, Lake Leganor.
The rich area with the lake.
With the rich area with the lake. It usually happens in the poor areas or the rich areas.
Yep, the poorest and the richest areas where murder takes place. For different reasons, usually.
Yeah. So, Marilyn Phil sent me a link to this news, and I clicked on it, and I started reading it, and it didn't say anything about a homicide. It just said that parents were dead, or a couple was dead, 4 children alive. No, 4 children unharmed.
Unharmed.
So when they used the word unharmed, I was like, that means 2 were harmed. So my initial thought was husband killed, wife killed self, was just how I kind of imagined it going, or it was some personal beef. Well, I did some research, and I did some sniffing around.
I love this shit.
Some sniffing around. And I put some contacts out and whatever. And I don't mean to make light of it because it's a tragic scenario and I feel bad for those kids specifically. But got to the bottom of it. Found who I thought was the couple. Wife had a GoFundMe from 2018 wanting money for lawyer fees to defend herself against abusive ex-husband.
Oh.
And then everything started falling into place, and it looks like I would gather from the information that I found, ex-husband, father of 3 or 4 kids, maybe 3. A 4th kid may not have been his, comes in, seeks revenge, unloaded 43 or 40-some shots, killed both of them, left the kids in bed, and rolled the fuck out.
What's the point? And it's like 5. So
the point was to kill them.
I know it's 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago. The defense of this, so
at least.
So those guys were just brewing on this shit. There's nothing else but going on into his life to move on than to like 6 years.
Maybe it's gotten worse.
If it was like 2019, I'm like, he was still mad.
Yeah.
Like 6 years later. Come on, man.
Yep. So
can't wait to this to end up on one of the podcasts I listen to.
You know what's funny is I actually feel this. I don't know my heart, not my words. It makes me feel better that it wasn't a random thing.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's usually not. It's usually not.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
But if it were a random thing, it's like, oh my God, lock the windows, close the doors, you know.
Which you never do.
No, which I never do.
You just walk the fuck in.
Yeah. But
like on a day that's not a podcast that you think is a podcast and it's scared the shit out of Laura.
It's happened before. It'll probably happen again.
So the 3 of us are together again for the first time in some time. So let's make some noise for that, I guess. But it wasn't easy.
No,
wasn't easy. Almost didn't happen.
It's not looking good for the rest of the month either. September's going to be kind of rough. Just going to let you know.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Enjoy while it lasts.
So Joe, Chris, you got your coffee first, but I feel like you have the lion's share.
I think I should go on. I've worked every day since the last time I was here.
I think you should probably just go ahead.
Okie doke. So since I've been gone,
you've been gone,
yeah, that's right.
Good shit.
So the first week I wasn't here, we took the kids to the Great Wolf Lodge in Perryville, which is damn near in Delaware. It was really fun.
Nice.
The kids liked it a lot.
It's got water and shit.
Yeah, so it's anybody that doesn't know Great Wolf Lodge, it's apparently a pretty big chain across the country. They have an indoor water park, which
Poconos. They have one in the.
There's
Poconos.
one in the Poconos also.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's only been open a couple years.
Gotcha.
Charlie can't get in the sun. Some of the medicine he's on, like literally, if he stands in the sun for like 5 minutes, he starts almost to blister. So
there's several meds like that. People don't realize it.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's Deacon Frost. That's what I'm gonna start calling him. So it's indoor water parks. There's water slides, there's pools, and there's freaking kids everywhere. I told Kelly the one thing I wish they had was just like a solarium for adults only or something. So you don't have to listen to children scream, which look, going in, that's what it's going to be, right? It's a very children themed thing. Yeah. I mean, they have a Build-A-Bear workshop in the place.
Nice.
They've got.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
They've got a little
Build Bears?
little little bowling alley, kind of like the one in Mount Airy, the little duck pin kind of bowling, and they have a mirror maze, and they have a ropes course and putt golf and a bunch of little things you can do.
I love me.
I rode, I think, most of the water slides, and at some
Do you
point I'm
fit?
like, I do. Yeah.
I feel like those little tubes make it stuck in.
They're bigger than you think.
Yeah.
And they have some where you do 4 at a time and it swings you around these big crazy circles and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. The kids enjoyed it. Charlie really enjoyed it.
That's good.
My daughter was sick one day and stayed in the room all day and didn't come out with us, and I think that's just her being a teenage girl, and I don't know.
That makes sense. I
It
mean,
was a lot of fun. I did see something kind of funny there. I saw a man wearing an Austin 3:16 Stone Cold shirt. It just says Austin 3:16, which is a ripoff of the Bible verse
John
3:16. Yeah, the Austin 3:16 side just whooped your ass. And his daughter had on a Christian Fellowship of Christian Athletes shirt.
Crossover.
I'm like, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what order to tell this in.
chronologically?
I don't know, because I honestly don't even remember how it chronologically goes. So we had our Realm event this past weekend, and had people over. It turned into a fiasco building. So we did a custom figure. We 3D printed a figure, and originally it was all one person was going to 3D print and assemble the figures. And long story short, we had to wait around for parts. Brian was at my house for 4 days.
Wow.
Bring us building this shit. So
Work.
it's done. Finally got it done. So we had done that, I think, the week before the Great Wolf Lodge, and then that week after we were still working on it. It's wild. I did see Deadpool again.
Nice.
That was, it was the first time we went. Obviously, probably for you too. The crowd was pretty raucous, right? I picked up on a lot of the one-liners and stuff that I think I missed the first time. So
We went on the morning.
Yeah, nobody was in
I
there.
love it. I fucking love when
Yeah, I mean, we
it was
went.
empty.
Yeah, we went. I mean, the crowd they popped so big for the cameos and stuff.
And we went opening weekend. We went.
It was Saturday morning. I was early.
I think I went Friday.
It was like 9.
Yeah, it was
It was
9.
fucking early.
There was
You weren't
like
up.
4 other people in there.
I love it. That's my
It
favorite.
was great.
Also went and saw Alien Romulus.
Okay.
How was that?
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Is it? Because I'm hearing mixed reviews.
Yeah, it's a
Some
lot of
people-
mixed reviews.
Well, I mean,
Mixed reviews better than bad reviews.
Chucky O was out here last week, and it was a big Romulus or Alien fan, and he liked it as well.
the third act is they
So
get into
that's
the
what a lot of
hybrid
people
kind
are
of stuff.
saying.
But
The third act gets a
but
little
it is
wonky donkey.
It is a pretty like
Donkey.
it had. I mean, I was. I don't get scared, but my anxiety, my
He
heart
said
rate
that,
got a whole lot in it.
He made a good point that like Aliens fans are just they're stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment. The two things they hate are them doing the same thing and doing different things.
Right. Oh, it sounds like every other fandom in the world.
Yeah.
So like people hated Prometheus. People
don't
hated.
understand.
See, I like Prometheus.
I did.
Same.
I did too.
I love
And
Prometheus.
and I like Covenant.
But there was
same.
supposed to be a third one.
Same,
but
yeah.
because it did so poorly,
Covenant
there wasn't.
didn't do well, yeah.
So like the general reaction was not good overall. So then they're like, fine, fuck it. We'll give you exactly what you say you want. And then they do it with Romulus, and then people are like, well, this is just like the other ones.
Well, I
You
mean,
know?
what do you?
I'm always
You know what I mean? Same
on the
thing.
side of try something new.
Yeah,
Like,
I am too.
Without breaking the spirit of things.
I am,
Because,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the thing. You can do new things without
Agreed.
part of problem. I think some people with new Star Wars stuff, it seems like it breaks the old things.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to move
No.
things forward, not laterally.
That's where I'm at.
So, being in the spirit of Alien, I decided. I guess I should say that Krista recently bought a new gaming PC, and it came with a download code for the new Star Wars game. I'm like, well, fuck, that works out great for me because I wanted to play it on my.
Yeah, and we
I
weren't-
was gonna put it on my laptop because I want to. I'm traveling a lot. Right after it comes out, I want to be able to. I'll just
Right.
take it and play it in my room or whatever. So it's funny because she got that, I guess, as an incentive for the bundle. So I had to register. It's Ubisoft, which I know opinions
God.
on Ubisoft notwithstanding. You have to go to Ubisoft and create an account, and then it took the code, and then I had to answer I promise you, it was 20 survey questions, and a lot of it was
free
about.
shit isn't free, man. They weren't
Well, no,
free shit for no work.
And I understood what I was doing, but I was like,
Neither's freedom.
I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, I know mainly Krista bought this to play Minecraft right now, at least.
Yes.
And so it was like, how influenced was your purchase by the inclusion of this game? Not at all.
You're asking for Krista. I like that. You're asking for her.
Were you going to buy this game whether or not you bought this PC? No. I just answered it as honestly as possible.
That's perfect.
I was waiting on the end. It's like, we're sorry, your lack of enthusiasm has negated your.
We find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah. That's it.
That's good.
That's a good one. So I've got it ready to play. It's already downloaded. You could pay. They have some premium version, of course. It's like $120, and you could have already started playing it, or you could sign up for their monthly. It's like $17.99.
That's what they want.
Which honestly, if I hadn't ended up getting that from you, I probably would have just done that. And one of the guys I watch, it's that Generation Tech guy.
I like Generation Tech.
He's doing a lot of coverage on this game, mainly because I ain't shit else to cover for Star Wars. He was
Acolyte.
He did cover the Acolyte.
And then whatever this new show is.
This new kid show that's coming out. But anyways, he was saying he's a big gamer. He's like, I play all the AAA platformers, and there's nothing new here. It's all, stuff they did in Assassin's Creed or any of the other, AAA titles they've had over the years. But the Star Wars part's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of, enjoy. It seems to me it's going to be a lot like Cyberpunk, which obviously I enjoy.
Yeah,
You can walk around, do whatever the fuck you want. There's missions you can do. So I'm looking forward to it, but I knew I had some time to play, and I was in this Aliens mindset, and I'm like, I have Is it Fireteam? Firestorm, or is just a shooter? I didn't want to do that, so I was like, let's see, is Alien Isolation available on the?
Oh, that game is hard.
That game is horrifying, bro.
It's horrifying.
I'm stuck. Like, I have to pause it
Between
to
the
like
Android
let my
and the
heart.
Alien?
Those freaking blue. I think I'm in like the third, not level or whatever, but I'm trying to escape from there, and these fucking. So to tell Bobby, aliens, the synths are a big part of it. Well, these are like dumbed down synths, but it's on purpose. They're called working.
Well, they're
Joes.
newer, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're
older synths that are like basic.
Yeah,
worker
they're
bitches.
like they're blue. I mean,
Okay.
they have red eyes and
Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da.
kind of, but they'll choke the shit out of you. I don't know. It's just hard.
As Krista was playing on stream a while ago, we both enjoyed the game, but like eventually the mechanics wore out when we got tired. We didn't finish it. Like towards like the last quarter or something, we just gave up on it because it became more tedious than enjoyable.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first 3 quarters was great.
Yeah.
Until you get frustrated.
I'll probably go back to it at some point.
And it's like lore wise, is like, I mean, it goes with the original Aliens lore. This is Ripley's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it all fits in.
Like looking for Ripley.
So last week I went to Philly on Monday. I just drove up there for work. We had my team meeting, and then basically my old team, my old job, that we had a meeting together. So went there Monday, met with, I hadn't seen a lot of these people in, 2 years.
Yeah.
Just bullshitting with everybody and had a good time. Monday night, Tuesday night, I did a presentation on Tuesday was a plan. So 7:30, I'm in a Starbucks right by the hotel, and my phone rings, and it's Kelly at 7:30 in the morning, which is odd just in itself.
Right.
And she says something, and I couldn't quite, she was upset, and I couldn't figure out what she said. So I went outside to the street in Philly. I'm like, hey, what'd you say? She said, Ron shot himself. Ron is her dad.
Oh, wow.
That she had been estranged from for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Hadn't talked to her mom, her dad, or her sister in 10 years. And her brother had called her, and he had killed himself in his master bathroom at their house in South Alabama. So she's like, should I go? I was like, I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea for you to go.
She only talks to her brother, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I ended up moving I told my boss what was going on, and I did my presentation early and left, and I got probably home about 2:30.
That's when my dentist appointment was.
Yeah, because your mouth was on fire. And she had already booked her a flight to Atlanta. So she flew down to Atlanta and drove down to South Alabama with her brother. So it's about a 4-hour drive. Down there, maybe 5. And she was down there until Friday morning. So we had our realm event this weekend, and she said, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to visit and I'm going to do what I can to help, but I'm not missing the event. I'm like,
What?
babe, listen, I get it, but don't kill yourself to do that if you need to stay down there. So she said, no, I want to come. She wanted to come see everybody, get her mind off of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So and this next part's kind of gruesome. So if you're not into the gruesome stuff, maybe skip a few minutes here. But he planned this. This was all premeditated. Mm-hmm. He had circled the date on his calendar and written freedom. So my wife had to do some sleuthing, get into his medical portal, try to figure out just what the fuck happened here. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he had started to have tremors, and you guys know Robin Williams had some sort of disorder before he killed himself. And it's basically some sort of version of Parkinson's that and I guess he just didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
He had paid off all the credit cards. He had, gotten a lot of ducks in a row.
Wow.
He had left a trail of breadcrumbs that his wife just didn't see. Just did not see. But, at 5 o'clock in the morning on last Tuesday, he shot himself in the head in the master bathroom. And, guys, we talk a lot about stuff like this, but we never talk about the back end of it. Like, somebody's got to clean that up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like,
and
he got all his ducks in a row, but then did that in the massive
and
bathroom.
that's the one thing I can't figure. And listen, I can't put myself in his mindset or anybody's. I've never been in that mindset. It's never crossed my mind. But what crosses my mind is my biggest.
Never crossed my mind.
Like a 38, like a rounded from a 38.
You said it, not me.
I know.
I've thought about it many times, and one of the things I do concern about is not being anyone's way and not having anyone clean up after me.
And I'm like, I'm going to go in the woods. I'm going to wrap myself in a fucking tarp and do it, and I'm in the woods.
Not to traumatize. I want to have someone find me in a place where
So the neighbor had come over, and the coroner came or whatever and got him, and he, there was a rug and there was a lot of the neighbor did the best cleanup he could do with no equipment, just trying to make it not look like a crime scene.
Are you supposed to do that?
After the cops have come and gone, you do whatever you want.
After, okay. I didn't get the timing.
I'd asked Kelly, I said, because she said tomorrow that her mom and her brother and some family friends over there were going to go to the funeral home to do that, and in that time, her and her sister were going to clean the bathroom.
See, that's fucked.
So I said,
Can you hire somebody to do that?
She said there was one place. So they're about an hour out of Mobile in little town in the middle. They have a Walmart. That's it. They don't have anything else. I mean, that was purposeful, right? They wanted to live out in the middle of nowhere and, the rest of their life. They retired down here. They lived in Atlanta till they both retired from, I think he worked for the CDC and she worked for OPM, which is basically like the government entity that does secretary work. I mean, there's another way to say that. That's what they do.
Were they still together?
Mom and dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. And, Kelly and Veronica had to, they pulled up the quarter round on the bottom, and there was blood under there. There was blood. Yeah, they had to, and God bless them both. And I told Kelly, I said, you might be the strongest person I know to be able to do this. I mean, they were picking up bone fragments and teeth, and this shit was everywhere. There was some mirror on the wall. I guess it had these little my mother-in-law is a little extra as far as trying to be fancy for no reason. So she had this fancy mirror, and there was brain matter in the fucking trim pieces.
What did he use?
A 38.
Okay.
Big caliber gun.
Yeah. I was wondering why there's shit everywhere.
One bullet missing out of the case of rounds. He knew exactly what he was doing. I just can't figure out why the fuck he would do it.
And of all things,
knowing you're doing all this other stuff, and that I don't know.
It's extremely inconsiderate.
So Kelly and Veronica cleaned everything, and apparently when you mix borax with blood, it creates this kind of gooey substance that they called it suicide slime. Kelly's like, that's probably the best joke that came out of the weekend. So it was fun. But as we know, the world is a construct.
Yep.
And if this is unfortunately what it takes for her to have a relationship with her mom and her sister again, then I said, unfortunately,
Have they started?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
she was down there. She said the first night was very tense, very standoffish, but by the end of the second day, her mom was holding her hand and talking to her, and
That's great. I mean,
Silver lining,
so
silver
to
lining.
speak.
it is. So she's on the way back down there now. They're having. Ron didn't want to be. He didn't want to be buried. He wanted a cremation. But they're having an open casket service, and I told Kelly. I said, Kelly
What?
said. Kelly said, I'm not going to look at him. I don't want that.
How?
memory.
What?
Modern technology. And I told Kelly, I said,
3D print it.
I guarantee you that the funeral home talked her into doing that for X amount of money.
Yeah.
Because we can.
That's just a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, whatever it is.
We
But
have the technology. We can rebuild them.
yeah, that was not what I expected for my week last week.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. It's a lot to process for me.
Why?
It's a lot to process for me because of the feelings that I've had about the situation.
About her and her father's relationship?
Well, about the blow up we had 10 years ago, and
You were part of the blow up.
I was there. I wasn't. I
Blow
was
up
trying
adjacent.
to keep people from swinging at each other, and that was it. But like my memories of Ron is just him laughing. Right? He was such. And look, I say, Kelly, you knew that man in a completely different way than I did. You experienced things, good, bad, otherwise, that I'll never experience. And granted, may not want to. I mean, they did Kelly pretty dirty. Like she graduated high school, went to the military, and
She went to the military?
Kelly was in the service.
I had no idea.
She went to basic training, and
What branch?
the Army.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, she got an honorable discharge out of basic. She got mono in basic.
Oh, in
and then she went back, and then I don't remember exactly what she did something to her leg, like she hurt her leg, and they just gave her an honorable discharge. She comes home from that, and they're like, "You can't live here." So she did what she needed to do for several months, and then finally called her grandma in Alabama, and that's how she ended up back in Alabama. Based on that, I always said, I don't know why you ever talk to these people, but it's your mom and dad, right? Mm-hmm. And it's her stepdad, to be honest, but it's the man who raised her.
Right,
so
right,
I just
right.
say dad. Her dad is actually rotting away, dying in the swamps of Florida right now, truth be told, but she hasn't seen nor cares to speak to him. And it's complicated. It's complicated to process because of the emotions I know my wife's going through, right? So, obviously you're going to have some guilt, whether it's your fault or not. Like, I never reached out, right?
You never.
No, I'm speaking for her.
Oh, for her. Okay,
she
right,
never
right,
reached
right,
out. I mean,
right.
I never did either because
No, because it's not your fucking business. Yeah.
And how many times does she want to pick up the phone and call him, right? And not because of this, and not wanting to.
I forgot to call my dad on his birthday yesterday. Continue.
Well, maybe he doesn't remember his birthday was yesterday, and you can just.
I'll call him today. Go ahead.
Things like that, birthday,
Yep.
Christmas, because those dates still stick in your mind, right?
Not
There's another one. I didn't mean that one either. So, I feel it's heartbreaking, man. It really is for everybody involved. And at one point I was going to go down with her, but she decided it would probably be best just to let her finish, getting everything where it needs to be as far as the relationship goes. And look, if we, go down there at some point, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't know. It's, no, it wasn't on my bingo card for
Yeah. I'll tell you, it wasn't on my bingo card of things to hear, even though I knew he passed.
well, I didn't want to go.
I wasn't sure.
It wasn't.
Honestly, I knew I would tell you guys here and be easier to explain in person than go into that. So, we my plan originally was I'd have been home Thursday night for my meeting, and then we would have packed up and left. And Mason was great. He left early and got her to the airport and was really super helpful. And so we were taking everybody in JCC, kids, and Mace was going. So Friday morning we loaded everybody up, and we got her at the airport, and then went to Walmart there by the airport to get some stuff, and let her talk to the kids and everything. And then her and I just alone drove to New Jersey, and I just let her let her, talk out loud about it and kind of decompress a bit. We got to NJCC, and we had the room at 4, so we had the entire dealer room. You've been to NJCC, haven't you, Joe? Did you go with Bobby once?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't think so.
That entire dealer room,
Yeah.
we had that for our Friday night party.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I tell you, it was good sometimes and bad others, but there was nobody working at that fucking hotel. There was the front desk and like a maintenance dude. We didn't even, nobody even poked their head in to see if we were
Having a mass orgy?
exactly
Right.
or anything. So, we got everything set up. We brought our own food and liquor, which has historically been a pain in the ass in a hotel.
100%.
They don't have a service for that. The conversation was just get drinks from the bar.
Right.
We just brought in food.
You got it.
Yeah, you're going to tell us no. Fran, who runs in JCC, was he came to the party and he was like, what's up with all the liquor? I'm like, it's not gonna leave the room. I said, if it does, if they say something, we'll do something. I don't want to fuck your shit up. So I was very clear to everybody. But we, did our rock box stuff, and we did a bunch of giveaways, and we live streamed it to everybody that bought that was at home, and that was a good time. Saturday we did panels, so I did a diorama panel. I made a little piece that everybody could paint, and went over really well.
That's cool.
Last time I did a panel, it was at Legion's Con, and 3 people showed up, and one of them was Brian Brink, because there was another panel for like the Hot Shot 3D print guy at the same time. So I was a little nervous about that, and I got to thinking that might have been when my creative block started, like when that happened. Maybe, I don't know. But it went great. Brian did a panel on his graphs, how he does those graphs. JD did one. He was painting some heads, and then Dust did one. We made a beat. It's like it's really cool. So that took up most of the day, and then of course the show was going on as well. Mason, one of the reasons I wanted him to come is like, hey, I need you to sit here and watch this table, and I'm gonna give you 20% of everything we sell. Which he made a decent amount of money. I sold a good bit of stuff. I sold a lot more than I thought I did.
Oh, good.
And then Saturday night I've been wanting to do this forever. We did a pajama jammy jam party. Everybody was in pajamas, and we did a white elephant gift swap where you steal each other's gifts. I know you love that, Bob.
Yep.
Your favorite.
And that
refuse.
That was that was so much fun. We had a blast doing that. So that's probably going to be a running thing next year. And we announced we are going to BotCon next year. The Realm Nation will be going to BotCon. I think it's like June 13th.
Is it Gary, Indiana?
Not, well, I wish. It's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was in Gary. We probably do where the fuck we want in Gary. They have hotels there? No, I'm kidding. It was Fort Wayne, Indiana. Not anywhere anybody really wants to go outside of. I don't know. This is the second year they've done that. So last year, I think they've done some. What's the word? Someone said it's kind of like the way you know how cool Reston was. You just walk out and then the restaurants and bars around. It's kind of they've kind of made
Town center.
A town center.
Yeah.
They've kind of made it more of that kind of vibe. So
That's a new thing.
So we're getting started. Actually, I had a call this week about that to go ahead and get ducks in a row to make that into an awesome event. So it's a lot of fun. Had a great time. Came home and so AEW did their London Wembley Stadium show. Of course, it starts at 1:00 on Sunday, and unbelievably so, I stayed off the internet from 1:00 till about probably technically till midnight because I didn't get to start watching that till like 7. So that's probably the longest I've been off the internet in a very long time,
Right?
Because it's so easy to get spoiled. But it was a fantastic show. It was great. Yeah. So and then I was off Monday, just catching my breath really because it was a long weekend on top of everything else, and then just been catching up on some work stuff. I got an incentive trip I'm planning, so I went from planning to planning. So yeah, that's I'm sure I missed a bunch of shit, but that's the cliff notes of the past month.
Yeah, that's a lot.
There's a lot of shit going on, man.
That's a lot.
And I was cleared by my wife to talk about that as plainly as I wanted.
I imagine.
One reason I didn't elaborate with you guys because I didn't know how much she wanted in the wind, but she's fine with all of it.
Yeah. Good. What was the blow up about?
So it was basically, it wasn't the incident that happened is inconsequential. It was the cork came off my wife is what happened. And she just let them have it, and they let her have it back. And
all this pent up stuff for decades.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Her sister said something smart about our parenting style. And truthfully, I probably told Kelly that she said that, and that's what it did. So I'm not going to say it's my fault by any means, but yeah, that's what it was.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was shame on everybody for letting it fester for that long. I mean, at that time, her brother wasn't talking to them either, but he had mended fences since. But and my wife's like, look, me and my sister, just like we never missed a beat, just bullshitting, and
Yeah, family's fucking complicated.
it is. And Kelly's like, I had a great break from not having to give a shit about anybody, but y'all for a long time. But you got to figure that out. I mean, like they've got mom doesn't get around well down there. And Ron loves working in the yard. Like one of my two memories, it's him laughing and being sweaty in the yard, drinking beer, cutting the grass, because he just loved being outside doing the yard. So what's going to happen with that now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of logistics that'll have to get figured out over the next
Trying to move to
several months. So I don't know what it'll lead to, but yeah, it's
old,
a homecoming.
I don't know about all that.
Back to the Bama roots.
Yeah. So been a trying month, been a trying year, to be honest, with everything that's gone on. But I'm still here.
Yeah.
We're all still here, still kicking. So, I was talking to my brother-in-law on the phone, and he was like, I don't know how we're going to do all this. I said, do you know how you eat an elephant, Lane? How?
One bite at a time.
You just deal with what's in front of you, and
yeah, that's the way.
so follow that up, Joe.
Yeah, Joey, let's hear it.
I ain't got shit. Moral of the story is don't make a mess of people if you're gonna go.
And you've been gone for a while too.
Have I?
You weren't here last week, right?
I was here last week. Was I?
No, I had Chucky O and Evan here last week.
What the fuck am my brain's been gone.
King of Pasaconda.
Oh yeah, I worked every day. Yeah, that's right. I've worked every day since I was here last time, which was 2 weeks ago. Like my days run together. I thought I was here last week, but it's been a fucking the 16th or some shit. But yeah, that's all I've been fucking doing is working, because it's that time of year, This week I have 3 days off. I like my schedule. I talked about my passing the test.
Yeah, now that you passed that test, is that going to impact your schedule?
I don't know. Because
you're going to go to a cubicle, right? Like,
I don't know. It's all up in there. So first thing first for everything.
You're fucking with the worst.
Freaks all the dummies.
I be sticking pins in your head like a fucking nurse.
Fucking. That was there's like a lot of possible futures, but the first step is to pass a fucking test. And now the test is over, I have to get my actual license, which is more hoops. Like I'm in the application process, but it's not like you pass a test, here's your fucking card or whatever. It's probably going to be at least another few weeks or longer to get my actual license, and then I can negotiate or talk.
Big dog.
I don't know what my whatever it is. I've been saying for years, and there's one thing I've really put my foot down on, even though like people don't understand. It's like I don't want a regular full-time job. If that's what they have in store for me, I'm turning it down. Like I have the last fucking 4 times. Like I don't want to be, even though I work fucking the last 14 days in a row. That's it's a psychological thing for me. I understand this. People are like, you work so fucking much anyway, you might as well do it full time. Like psychologically, it's still my freedom. Like I choose.
You're
to
not
do
locked
this.
in
I'm
Monday
not
to
locked
Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah,
Kingdom Come.
And I've been good with relatively good with my mental health for the past over a year now. I had some rough patches, the last couple months or so, but overall, I've been doing well. For anyone who's known me long enough, I've struggled with mental health issues forever until around this time last year. I just got better, and I've been trying to keep it that way. And sometimes it's a lot of work. Last month I was having a fucking rough bit, but I just stayed on top of it, and I'm good. So everything I need to do to keep my mind here, I have to do, right? Even if I have to lie to myself, whatever it is, I now that I've seen what it's like to be normal, quote unquote, or feel okay, I can't go back, man. I can't go back to the way I felt. So I don't know. I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
It's all good, bro.
But
And you don't know what's causing your feeling. This last stint.
No, that's the fear. That's a problem because it's always been that way. There was mostly never.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting anything different. I just didn't know if there was a catalyst.
No. If there was, I would have felt better. I'll be like, I'm upset because of this. The problem always has been I've been depressed or whatever for no reason, and that's what scares me to go back to that place. So, but I'm okay. I'm on top of it. But say that to say this, I know that if I feel trapped psychologically, I get in a bad place. Like when I was struggling for the years I have, sometimes I get so bad I have to call somebody, like while I'm at work, in the middle of the workday, or I have to text somebody and ask them. That's a key for me. Krista was that person for me. She knows. I've told her that a long time ago. I haven't had to ask her. But like in the middle of the day, if you get a call or a text from me asking if I can go home, if I wanted to, you just got to tell me yes, and I'll feel better.
If you can come home.
Yeah, if I can leave, like,
can I leave here and come home?
Work,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I probably asked you.
I don't know. Hell no, you never. No? Oh, wait, maybe once.
That's if I get really bad.
Maybe once. I think that was, I don't know if it was like, can I come home? I think it was like, I don't feel like being here or something like that.
Yeah, if I wanted to leave work,
yeah. Something more,
like I need somebody to give me
subtle.
Permission. Yeah. So like, if I know I feel that way, when I wasn't feeling trapped, like I know if I got a full-time job, it's gonna fuck me up. So,
all right.
So all this to say this, hopefully I'll get more hours at the cubicle. That's what I'm hoping for out of all this. Is to just like less retail work, more cubicle work, but keeping my same job. Like what I want, I've told my handler this for years. Like, open a part-time position, and I'll gladly take it. Like that I can quit my other job. If I can be guaranteed 24 hours at this job, I can pay the bills minimally. You know, so like because right now, like I know I work a lot, but I'm technically freelancer. They can, like for if my handler fucking quit or whatever, as I got a new handler who wasn't cool with me, and all of a sudden gave me no hours. There's like no repercussions for me. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
So that's the only fear I have, job and money wise.
Right.
But other than that, like I'm good. So I'm doing this test and shit just to like see if I can leverage my way into like a part-time position or just more cubicle job, and I would just be happier. But that's it. I did today, my first day off. I already did a bunch of adult things. First thing in the morning.
What did you do?
We started here. I tried to schedule up my chest exam thing because I've been more adult lately. I saw the doctor twice in the past couple of months to get checkup on my blood work and stuff. I told him my family history of like lung cancer and shit, and I haven't seen a doctor or get an X-ray forever. So she was like, "Oh, let's get you the scan." I tried to make an appointment this morning. They're like, "You're too young. You're only 42. You can't get the scan until you're 50." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I have to get a different kind of scan, but I emailed my doctor to send a new order. So I don't have to fucking pay for it. And getting myself a dentist after like 10, 15 years. I called the dentist. It's like the soonest we can get you.
Not that it matters, but I know an Asian guy. And actually, I'm not sure if I recommend him yet. I'm not sure because like I've had one cavity in 42 years.
Wow.
I haven't,
and now I've had 9. And I've been using this guy for 1 year.
Oh no! Is it like correlation or causation?
You know, I went in for my cleaning a couple weeks ago, and they had told me just to use a water pick, not to floss. Well, now this hygienist was telling me, "Oh, you got to floss."
I've been,
water pick. And then the doctor comes in. You know, they come in and they basically make sure you still have your teeth or whatever at the end. And she's like, "Well, you can use a water pick or you can floss." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then they're like, "Oh, you have a cavity we found last time." I'm like, "Nobody said anything to me about a cavity last time."
If it's real small, I'm going to say anything to do something.
Well, I don't know. If so I got to get that filled with something.
This dude, I'll tell you what, this dude I got, flossing is his middle name.
I mean,
you flossing? No, I was like, yes, I'm flossing twice a day. Not look like you're flossing good. You flossing in between the gum and teeth. That's what because he's all about like putting it in there and then wrapping it around until you feel the fucking root.
Yes,
and then
that's what I do.
I'm not.
I mean, like I've
awful.
Hey, I've always done that, and I haven't had any teeth problem. Fucking in 15 years, haven't needed to see a dentist.
There you go.
But Yeah, I just floss twice a day, brush twice a day, and fucking rinse.
Yeah,
And
listen, anybody that's listening, take care of your fucking self. I know it's a pain in the ass to schedule all these appointments, but I've seen too many people. I mean, I'll be honest with you, my mother-in-law was in bad shit. She didn't go to the doctor. She just would not go to the doctor, like, all the way through. Like, I think she started going to the doctor, like, when she was in her 60s and, had all sorts of back problems and pain. I mean, it's just because she didn't take care of herself.
and you just used to dealing with shit.
You know what? And listen, the hose up your ass, just have it fucking done.
Yeah.
Just don't be a pussy about it. It doesn't hurt. You don't even know what happened. The hardest part is cleaning yourself out, and that's not even that hard anymore.
And drinking it.
Well, they've changed it. It's not that sludge anymore.
Oh, really?
It's almost like
it's pill version.
It's one thing they give you. It's
2 bottles. There's multiple things, but yeah.
So it's
the
a bottle
technology
of
has
stuff,
evolved a lot in the last few years.
and then you take like Dulcolax or whatever, and it cleans you out.
I agree that you should take care of yourself, and I agree that you should have blood work done annually, and all. I very much agree with all that. But let me ask you a question: how much do you trust the medical system on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being your wife, and 0 being the panhandler at the corner out here.
Probably, you know what? So that you could break that into so many different parts, right?
The system
the doctors themselves. The system's fucked.
Okay, so I'm talking about the providers.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it depends on your provider. If you got a good one,
100%,
right?
100%. I'm talking about your experience.
Yeah.
Overall, where would you average it out?
Well, I haven't seen a doctor in forever.
I'd say a 7, maybe 7. And I'll elaborate. But what were we saying there?
Yeah, I would say I haven't seen a doctor in a decade, and I just started seeing this one. I saw her twice. I have like confidence 8 or 9 from her.
That's nice.
But I did like a month of like looking around before I decided to pick a doctor.
I think the problem with the medical field is the insurance company.
Yeah, insurance.
I mean,
it does depend on the doctor too, because if they depends how much they care or how much they want money.
Well, I'll give you an example. So we're blessed living where we live. That Charlie with his medical issues, he has Crohn's, and it sucks that he's freaking 11 years old and has to deal with that, but. We have Johns Hopkins here, which his doctor moved to St. Louis, which sucks because she understood everything about him, and he had changed. These medicines work for a certain amount of time, and then they just don't work. So, what is he on? He's on Rinvoq now, and I want to say he was on something else. Basically, it was you have to have a IV load in. A lot of these, you have to have an IV load in for the first treatment, and then you can take either the shot or the pill or whatever. Spaced out. Charlie was bad. Like, it was bad. He needed to get put on new medicine, and we could not get insurance to approve the IV. They're like, well, he's not old enough for the drugs. We can't approve the IV. It was like, well, the doctor, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
Long story short, this doctor he has is great. If the insurance company plays games, she's like, she didn't say, she said, fuck it. Go to the ER at Johns Hopkins. They know why you're coming. I've already told them, and they'll get you in a room and get the drip started.
So,
hang on.
Yeah.
While they were in the hospital, they approved. They had already done the procedure, but they approved it literally like the next day and would not backdate that. Although they had done it before for other. My wife wrote 2 fucking heartbreaking letters about what Charlie deals with in the insurance and this, that, and the other. Went through all these appeals processes. I mean, this took months. And finally, Johns Hopkins just wrote it off. After it got denied twice, she went to like the appeal board with it. They denied it, and then Johns Hopkins just decided to write it off. It was like $15,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I know that's not necessarily what you're talking about, but that's and listen, if it had been someone else that didn't understand, like my wife does, how to advocate and do all this stuff.
Not the time to.
You would have probably had a judgment put on you or something. I don't know.
I have very little faith. Very little. I have a lot of faith in nurses. My nurse faith is around probably a 7 or an 8. People that have to run through the certain level of procedures to get you like everybody gets run through the same flow chart.
Yes.
Right. Are they this? Yes. Okay. Insert line. Okay. Pump, like
algorithm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of nurses actually do have a legitimate level of sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
As you get into the doctor level, my faith is just it's low. So I'm averaging it out to say it's at like a 5 because my faith in doctors is like a 3 or a 4. In my experience, not just with myself, but with others, somewhat unfortunately regularly. You take this Gomez situation recently, where it's just been like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, why is everybody just playing the numbers game here? Why aren't people truly trying to get to the bottom of something? They're trying to put you in a box and get you out the door to free up the fucking bed. I just personally don't have a lot of faith. I mean, I had gout. It was misdiagnosed. I had appendicitis. It was misdiagnosed. I had like my whole life is a series of medical incidents where the doctors fail because they think they fucking know it all.
Yeah. I mean, I think
no disrespect to doctors.
Yeah. I think it when it comes to providers, it's always like any job, person to person, right? You can have a good cashier and a bad cashier. Like same with doctors, except it's a much bigger deal. Overall, it's not. My confidence level is not great because as a pharmacist, I catch doctor mistakes all the time. Mm-hmm. But I think it depends on the field too. If you're in a triage place or like emergency room place or a place where they are just trying to get you out, like that's part of their job, unfortunately, is to get you the fuck out. Right? But if you're talking about like maybe specialists or people you need a referral to specifically take care of certain things, they're probably higher on the scale.
Maybe. I think people are overall massively overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed and over-medicated.
Because like, I don't know if it's like a number scheme in the way of like patients to doctors. Like my point of making this dental appointment is the soonest they can see me as an initial consult with a doctor is November. Mm-hmm. We're in August right now, almost September. Yeah. And as soon as I can get a cleaning done is March, which I did schedule for. So like...
That's funny. Because my dentist sends me a text almost every day saying, we have openings for cleanings this afternoon.
Because you're in the door.
Maybe because I'm a new patient. Also because, again, I looked around a few weeks before I decided, okay, I want to go to this place and this person. Because I'm not just going to pick a fucking opening. Like, I'd rather wait for a good person that I have good faith that this might be a good doctor. But that's a problem, right? You don't know if a doctor is good or not. You have low faith in them, so you got to take your time. I had to take my time to specifically look for a good one.
I like a lot of my rebuttal to that is every doctor I've ever looked at I've researched.
Yes,
and Lars researched even further.
Yeah, but you guys have a lot more experience than me.
And then we're talking about fucking shock trauma, like the elite of the elite.
Yeah,
and I'm just seeing complete disregard,
apathy.
Yeah. I just want to say that like I'm a firm believer in keeping up on your health. Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer in stress tests. I'm a firm believer in blood work. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in objective information that gives you an idea of where you are. But when it comes down to I'm not feeling well and I need this motherfucker to help me, motherfucker, buy a book.
Yeah, that's the thing. Being doctoring, a lot of it, medical wise, is empirical, which means best guess. Mm-hmm. Unless something is more seriously wrong, it's always best guess. When you get antibiotics at the doctors, this best guess.
An educated wish.
They educated.
But I think it's also the fact that you get inundated, right? So you get not complacent, but you get. There's a lack of compassion. I get apathy. You get somewhere in that ballpark. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I'm there with my patients. Mm-hmm. I used to care more when I was a pharmacist. Mm-hmm. Just being honest. Like, I have this much to do in my 8 hours that I'm there. You call me. I'm trying to get you off the phone as soon as I can. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was given the freedom to help people, I would stay on the phone with these people for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But like when I look at my phone clock, the counts if I'm close to the 3-minute mark, I'm trying to hang up on you because I have shit to do, unfortunately. But that's part of the business aspect of it. Just like you every time you get sick, you could get cultured and get a proper, exactly, this is the bacteria you have and this is the best antibiotic for it. But we don't have the time or patience or effort or money for that, right? Somebody has to pay for that shit. And is insurance paying for it? Probably not. Are you going to pay for it out of pocket? If you have the money, maybe.
I am paying a fuck ton for insurance.
But that's right. But like, it's so much goes back to, I think, just money and time.
Oh, I agree.
There's a lot more.
I agree.
There's a lot more. Like, how many patients does an average doctor and a doctor's group see? How many patients can they possibly know before, like, they're just numbers? You know.
Well, I agree, but I'm saying
I'm not defending them.
I'm
just saying
with
this.
that. I'm not satisfied with that as a system.
Same. I think it's a systemic problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100% think so.
Not the playing devil's advocate, they say, oh, you've got condition ABC. Well, here's the drug to treat that. Let's try this. And if that doesn't work, we'll go to something else. Yes. But it may work because everyone's body chemistry is different.
But it's a guess,
right. Even condition ABC, some of that shit we're just making up. We're just calling it that. We have no fucking idea what it is. We're just saying it's this thing, and then years later they're like, actually, that's not even a thing at all. We were wrong about it. And everybody that took that medicine, please contact your lawyers because none of it means anything.
Well, it's true.
But I mean, you have to go through that though. Unfortunately, you have to get through that point. Like, there's no way to know some of these things without.
I mean, the thing that we don't keep in mind is we're 150 maybe years into modern medicine, right? I mean, we're 150 years from the Civil War where they were just cutting people's off with the same saw, cutting people's legs off with the same saw
and now you can replace people's arms.
Exactly.
Other arms.
And even that, I mean, we
robots.
And I mean, that's why the AI take over, man. Just let AIs be doctors.
My wife has a Parkinson's patient right now because that's my wife's specialty, right? Is Parkinson's. Like, that's her. She's a known person in the area for Parkinson's. She's special requested. She's consulted by doctors in Pennsylvania. Like, she's a beast in that field. So she works a 9 to 5, for lack of a better term, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And she has a patient right now that can't get to the car to get to outpatient, right, to get to her clinic.
Yeah.
And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she is leaving work, she's clocking out, and then she's going to their house and spending a half hour to 40 minutes one-on-one in their house.
Home service, yeah.
Like, just to help. Like, I feel like that day, like the doctor with the black bag, you know what I mean?
In-house? No, that's not.
Like, I don't know, man. I like I said, like, I'm a firm believer in getting yourself checked out. I 100% agree with Chris, and I don't mean to make it seem like a disagreement because it's not. No. I just, for the sake of listeners, like,
the system's supposed to
do your in conversation, just like, don't let these motherfuckers shove these goddamn pills down your fucking throat.
And as much as everybody's like, oh, you're an internet doctor, I mean, you could at least have a general idea what's going on with you before you go in, and you might say, well, hey, and I'm sure doctors absolutely love this. Hey, there's I did some research and here's what I found.
Yeah.
I'm sure they absolutely despise when people do that, but 100%. At the same time, it may be like, oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, dude, I went when I saw my doctor for the gout. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gout, and I'm pretty sure this is the medication I need. And he was like, let's get an x-ray. Thank you for paying the people that do x-rays that bring turkey trays to my office every quarter. Definitely not gout. If it's one thing I know, it's gout. You have a protein deposit. So we're gonna have to come back 2 weeks. We're gonna reevaluate. And then my wife was like, no, we're gonna go to an orthopedic that I know personally, and they were like, oh, it's a clear case of gout. Never seen gout quite like this. This is capital G gout.
Textbook. You can see that picture in the book. I mean, but I don't know.
And we don't need to stay on this too much longer, but I just...
I mean, you don't... The problem is, as on my side, you don't get the best medication either. When a doctor prescribes something, and a lot of times I have to deal with insurance. The insurance is like, no, we don't cover this. Why don't you try these alternatives? And you go to the doctor. They have two options a lot of times. They can take the time, which I know they don't have, to call the insurance and fight for you. They can call the insurance, do a prior authorization, tell them like, no, I'm treating this patient. They need this medication. You need to cover it, which works a lot of times. Or they can cave and be like, insurance said they will pay for these ones. Just do these ones.
Yeah.
So like you don't, even when they do find out what's wrong with you and want to prescribe you something, you still might not get what you want.
Yeah. So thank you for joining another episode of Maryland MD. That's a double entendre.
MD.
Yeah. Is there anything else going on in the old nerd week there?
I don't even lost track. We're just talking.
You talked about your mental health and schedule.
Yeah, which I was not planning to talk about. I was only planning to talk about how fucking ridiculous it is that I can't. Good. I guess if there was something actually wrong with me, like if I have like a fucking toothache or something, I can probably see someone sooner. Maybe I don't know how that works.
Yeah. They have emergency stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've gone and seen dentists that like, hey, I fucking broke a tooth. I need you to pull it or something, and they'll get me in within the 24 hours normally. I think
like your dentist. Specifically.
No, it wasn't my dentist.
It was just some rando.
Hey,
okay,
I called them.
It's good to know.
If I lose a tooth, I'm going silver. By the way.
Yeah, all the ones I've lost have been in the back.
Are you in silver, not gold?
No, not gold. No, because it's
white?
not a fashion thing. I'm going silver. I'm going silver to let people know I didn't take care of this tooth.
I mean, that might not be fair. What if you got knocked out?
I'm going silver to say somebody knocked me out. It's my scarlet letter to wear,
just like,
and I'm gonna wear
just
it.
like fillings now. Like they don't have to be metal. They can just look like the white ones.
I tried.
What do you
when
mean?
I got those 9 or 8, I tried.
You tried what?
To get the metal ones.
Oh,
and they said they didn't have them.
Oh, yeah. They just use the one that looks like teeth, right?
Yeah, but
natural looking.
But if I get a whole tooth removed, I'm gonna have to shop around. Shop around. There's my scarlet letter to bear.
Show it off?
No. Just if you catch it, be like, yeah. I didn't do a good enough job.
Watched Blue because I need something simple to watch after fucking working on some Blue Ribbon Bake show. I think it's just a more redneck version of a British baking show.
What you watch depresses me. Do you think that's having an impact on you?
What?
Oh, I could see how you watch it as decompression because
yeah, exactly. I just need some simple shit I can just like be.
I'm just kidding.
Entertained.
Speaking of simple shit, I forgot to mention that at some point in the past month, I binged all the new episodes of Cobra Kai. I think the first half of the last season. Is this the last? I think it's the last season.
Yeah.
Well, it's ridiculous, but it's literally like
it's supposed to be though, right?
It's like, when the Power Rangers would fight out of their costumes occasionally.
Yeah.
It's literally just like that. Like they have brawls in schools and they go into these karate tournaments and
season, maybe second.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine.
It's entertaining.
I was okay not continuing, but I wasn't mad with the time I spent with it.
It was one of those things like I'm gonna watch a couple episodes. I'm like, oh, there's only 6. Fuck it, I just laid on the couch one night late and watched all of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So this Blue Ribbon Bake Show on Netflix I guess it's filling the void that we don't have British Bake Show right now. That's not bad. It's like based on country fairs, where they have blue ribbon.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar.
For the apple pie.
Yeah, so they're all like fair
winners.
They're fair,
pretty fair
themed bakes, and they get like little blue ribbons, and it's like
apple crumble
by this lady from Food Network that used to make semi-homemade. But she looks very different now. She looks good, quote unquote, good for her age.
Is it
Sandra? Yeah, Sandra Lee.
Sandra Lee.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen her in years.
She's on Netflix now with this show, but like she looks very. I didn't recognize her at first. Because I think she has a lot of work done. But I mean, she looks good for her age, but she looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, I hear you.
And with the guy from American Pie, Jason Biggs.
Yeah.
Because then he makes pie jokes.
Oh, is he on? He's on there too?
He's on there. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and he makes pie jokes. It's not bad. Enjoyable for a dinner watch. Watching dinner while watching some baking. And, I like looking at people make stuff and I like food. So if you're into baking shows and we don't have British Bake Off right now, you can go for that. That's only like 6 or 8 episodes. We finished it in 3 days. And I read a line that I quite enjoyed. Somebody died. And
Chris's father-in-law.
Yeah, like that guy.
There were a couple other people that day that passed away, I bet.
And
Sid Vicious.
He did. Well,
it's in my notes.
Bless up.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. And instead of saying rest in peace, wherever, they said, see you in the reboot. And I was like, oh, I like that. This
you
is
go. See you in the review.
because we're in a simulation, and this is all going to happen a little bit differently.
See you next time.
Yep. And that's it. That's all I did.
So I asked a question last week, but neither of you were here, obviously. So I'm going to ask it to you guys too. Hypothetical. For the sake of this hypothetical, your opinion doesn't matter. Okay.
Fun.
So
sounds fun so far.
Okay. It's because the question is about your wife's opinion.
Okay.
Your opinion regarding it does not matter.
Okay.
Fair.
Also, for the sake of this hypothetical, for the scenario I'm getting ready to expound upon, your wife is 100% up for it.
Okay.
You could argue, due to her enthusiasm and level of enjoyment during it, 150% up for it.
Here we go.
So you have a threesome with another girl. Fantastic time. You guys have a blast. Great, and no strings attached necessarily. Everybody's in the morning. You have a cheers, and everybody kind of goes about their way. What a great! We should try to do that again sometime, like a good dinner date with a couple. Like we should try to get together again sometime. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
She did ask you to wear a condom, your wife, which is fair. She's giving up a lot, right? So of sharing. But she asked if you could just wear a condom, just that would make me feel better about the whole thing, and you oblige, right? Small price to pay. So you do, and the condom is intact afterwards, right? And you throw it in the trash can. And a month and a week later, you get a phone call that this girl is pregnant, and she wants to keep the baby. Does your wife try to convince her to abort it?
Yes. 100%. Actually, it depends on this. I think it depends whether this other chick want me in this kid's life. If the lady was like, I'm keeping this kid, you don't have anything to do with it, just pay child support, I think Krista would be like, whatever. But like if the lady was trying to get me into this kid's life, she'd probably be like, nah, fuck that.
Because she wouldn't want you to be in the kid's life?
Yeah, I don't think, yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
I don't think she cares about other people having kids as long as there's no kids in our life. Because if I have to do something with this kid, then she would be also involved. So,
what if,
adjacently?
What if the one was okay with her not being involved, but would like for you to be involved?
Then I'll try to convince her to abort it because I don't want a kid.
No. I'm not. I don't care about that.
My opinion
would she
doesn't
be?
matter.
Yeah. Would she be okay with that?
Would she be okay?
Yeah. Like, look, you don't have to do anything, but like, I want to go spend a little bit. I want to take it to the park, or I want to do something. I want to go to the first.
No,
birthday.
she wouldn't. She wouldn't be okay with that. Because she wants me to. She wants what we have our life. She doesn't want. She complains about other stuff as it is.
It sounds like an episode of Maury Povich. I think I would be on board with whatever if Kelly wanted to do that.
Right. So the question is, what do you think Kelly would want? That's the question.
I don't know. Based on the current circumstances, I really don't know. I think she probably wouldn't want to have that in our life. I would also want a paternity test pretty quick.
Yeah, and it's yours.
Okay. At this point in my life, it's almost 50 years old. I don't want anything to do with another child. So that would be and I have a feeling she'd be the same way. And listen, let's. Is this just a rando we picked up at a bar? Is this some girl that
I don't know? Whatever it is, you guys have had a good rapport. There is a friendship, lowercase f friendship amongst the three. There's not a single hard feeling.
No animosity. Yeah,
not a single hard feeling.
I don't know. That's hard. Is this coming out of something, or you just
thought about it on my way to work?
Oh, great.
Yeah, this is me thinking about stuff. Yes, this is you thinking about stuff. Perfect. I love it.
If you're gonna fuck around like that, get your nuts clipped. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, but that takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, what you think your wife is like.
So what were the answers last week? What did those guys say?
So Chucky O was 100% no abortion. She would not only would Tara be adamantly against it, but she would want to be as involved as the other woman.
They don't have children, do they?
They do not.
And
I think she definitely wants one.
Okay. Well,
Evans said no. So I was when I had this conversation, I was on my way to work, and I broached the subject at work, and it was a mixed reviews.
Yeah,
but I had I was unsure, but my gut feeling was that Laura would not want to abort it
Did you talk to Laura? Did you ask
So I called her right then and there on speakerphone.
Of course.
and asked her, and she was like, no. She was like, absolutely not. She would not want to abort the child. She was like stern. She said. Then her next line was, "I would make your life very difficult, but absolutely not."
There we go.
And then she texted me back a little later. She's like, "You sounded very happy during that conversation." And I was like, "I don't want any more kids." don't want any more kids. Just in case that's where you're headed.
I'm just looking at the pin on your desk here. Is this? Did you get this orthodontics pin when you spent $30,000 or $50,000?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what round it was.
So Charlie had to go back for.
It's the thing now.
Yeah. So Charlie went back for round 2, and they were trying to charge X amount of money. And Kelly's like, "Look, this is the 4th person I put through braces here, and this should be the last one. Here's what you charged me for the first one. Why don't you charge me what you charged me for the first one instead of like 120% more?"
Well, have you seen eggs?
I love it.
No, the price these days.
Oh yeah. Well, I know. Hey, a box of cereal is $7. So.
All right. So that was that question. I did watch some stuff. I watched a documentary. It was actually recommended to me by a guy that I was hanging out with. It's called I think it's called The Tale of Two Bastards. And it's a A&E documentary on Old Dirty Bastard.
Oh.
And I didn't necessarily learn anything new. But it was well done. Like, it was a well-done documentary, and kind of like, I know pieces of that puzzle from watching a ton of different things and reading a ton of different things over the 30 years or whatever. And it was like a nice consolidated, like, this is the story of this dude from front to back. And if you're a Wu-Tang fan or an Old Dirty Bastard fan or just an interesting life fan, because this guy did everything from crack cocaine to pick up a car that a girl was underneath so that she could be rescued.
Wow.
While
on crack.
While on crack, right? That's the key.
And everything in between. I recommend giving it a shot. There's only one issue that I quite had. They kind of, for those that remember, Old Dirty Bastard got out of jail, and he died shortly after, like within a year or two from getting out of jail. But he was signed to Rockefeller.
I don't guess I even knew that.
Yeah, Rockefeller signed him. Dame Dash signed him to Rockefeller. And they kind of frame that, I don't think, accurately. Because they kind of make it seem like it was nefarious in some way. And I think it actually was the best intentions. I think that they had the best intentions for him. They gave him $1 million signing bonus, which they say they never saw, the family never saw. But I think that Old Dirty saw it. That's my personal opinion.
And it went somewhere.
Yeah. And I think that it was a mistake to give that man $1 million. But I think that that's not, you can't hold them responsible for that.
That's his own life choices. Didn't he have a rack of kids?
Yeah. So that was maybe the one thing that I learned from it. It looks like to me, after watching it, that he had 3 children with his wife. Mm-hmm. And then the rest are kind of randos.
Aren't there like a dozen of them?
So I think the number that I heard was 18.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't quote me
Confirmed.
on that. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But it was good. I recommend it. It's on A&E. It's available on demand. I can tell you, because I watched it somewhere where they had cable and they had it on demand. I went down a rabbit hole, which happens with me from time to time on this particular topic. There is and I get them confused. So let me just go through my YouTube history real quick.
Zaymont's the one with the scar.
No doubt. There's a number of abandoned medical institutions of various degrees of how you lowercase m to uppercase m around this area.
There sure are.
And obviously most of them are no longer things that are relevant anymore or have lost federal funding.
Sanatoriums.
So therefore there's a lot of abandoned ones around this area.
Oh, good.
Let's go.
Urbex.
So I'm down. You don't have to.
Okay.
Are
you serious?
Capital. Oh my God.
Dude, let's go and film this shit.
Make a date.
My bag.
Make a
Me
date.
too.
I'm
can't
serious.
So
I'll go.
I'll go at night.
Just give me the time of day.
Okay, because I'm
serious.
I'm ready to go too.
I'm going.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
So there's two. So there's this one that I've already been to. It's demolished now. It was Henryton, and it was in Carroll County, I believe, somewhere. It may have even been Howard County. It was right on the line, and it was a tuberculosis.
So
place.
there was somewhere in like Sykesville area that was because
That's probably Henryton.
Yeah, I was just kind of Googling around the area when I was looking at different things and, what used to be here. And yeah.
So I've been in that one. I have tons of photographs and stuff from it. It was very, very interesting. But the other one, so there is a documentary about it that's actually pretty well done. And I recommend everybody watch it if they're into this kind of stuff or if they're a Maryland person. Forest Haven Asylum.
Oh.
So this one sits between Anne Arundel and PG County.
Oh.
And part of it, I think, is still in use.
Like a wing of it?
Yeah, so I get confused because there's Forest Haven, and then there's another one that's like Glendale, and I get them confused. So don't hold me to this. There's Glendale Hospital, and there's Forest Haven Asylum. So there's a 50-minute documentary from a YouTuber named Ruin Road on Forest Haven, and it was a place that was supposed to be for like kind of like the mentally handicapped, mentally disabled, and they did these motherfuckers dirty.
Of course.
And anyway, they do a 50-minute documentary on it. It's really well done, high production value, very well informed, good. Like, because a lot of this stuff, they just show you tours, and it's like a guy talking every 3 seconds, like, oh, dude, look at this, spooky, and then moving on.
Yeah.
No, this is very thorough explanation of the facility, the history of it, the state that it's in now.
Oh,
it's
there.
chef's kiss. Well done.
Is that where we have Skullfest next year?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why not? Free venue.
Yeah, but the problem with most of these places is they are patrolled.
Oh, okay.
So we do.
Oh, it's just like that scary ass game I've been playing, but in real life.
Yeah. So we do have to use some sort of caution.
What was the name of the place you were saying?
Forest Haven. And the other one is Glendale.
Glendale.
Those are the two. Those are the top two on my list that I'm trying to get to.
Dude, this air an opportunity. I'm ready to go. Just let me know when. I'd love.
Well, you got to be in the state. That's going to be
you guys can live stream it too. No, I got to be in. I'm here a couple days a week. We can figure it out.
So I went down a rabbit hole of that. I ended up watching the one about Hell House, which
is patrolled by the guy with the dog.
Which isn't the best. Yes, two dogs. Yeah, two dogs, two Rottweilers, but which isn't the best footage wise. But for those that like, I did Spite video footage up there. There's like a satanic altar up there. It used to be like a Catholic altar. There's like but the people have like painted dragons.
I mean, we can really do some more exploring at Fort Armistead, especially at night.
No doubt. No doubt.
Those busted condoms might come into play.
No doubt.
There's something, and forgive me, my geography's off. When Kelly and I will go to the Maryland Renaissance Fair, that's down Annapolis way, I think.
Yeah, in Arundel County.
There's some gigantic.
It's going on now, I think.
It may be. I'm out of the loop on. There's some gigantic place that used to be. I mean, it's a bunch of buildings that are all the same. Mm-hmm. And there's a sign. I don't remember what it is, but there's some sort of place there. And I don't know how open or there's. It's obviously not in use anymore.
Yeah, there's a ton of them around here because so much government money flows around here.
They just build new stuff and move on.
They're pretty fascinating.
Or you don't need a tuberculosis.
People in this area don't realize just how much money is in this area. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to the rest of the country and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Like there's just so much government money that just like
recessions don't hit this place like it hits everywhere else.
Correct.
Like 2008, like all the times it's been bad, it's been soft blows here.
Agreed.
And Glendale's the other one you said?
Yeah, Glendale. Glendale's my numero uno.
There's a tuberculosis.
I think it's Glendale. That's my numero uno. Or maybe it's far. Let me. I get them confused in my head. I'm going to go back one more time.
So there is a state hospital in Sykesville.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down for that.
I don't know where. I looked up 10 abandoned places in Maryland.
Yeah. My number one spot is Forest Haven.
Yeah.
That's my number one spot.
There's a college in Ellicott City.
Is that St. Mary's?
No, it's Hell House. That's Hell House.
Yeah, that's gone now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This might
but
be
that's
old.
that's Hell House. That was and it was like an all girls school, and then they left it, and the groundskeeper was allowed to live there as long as he continued to take care of the ground. But then people started going up there and fucking with. I mean, people died up there from fucking with that dude, and he had 2 dogs that he'd let off the leash on you, and it was a nightmare. But like,
That's his rights.
yeah, the Spite video footage is shot up there. Also, I took pictures on those steps, like doing the Joker pose.
Yep.
You know, I want to do more. I want to do more of that. I quite enjoy that, and it's like good little hiking and little outdoor. Like it's a lot of good things that, like, because I like to explore. Mm-hmm. I have an explorative nature. I hate walking around the woods for no reason.
Yes.
I love a good exploration.
Yeah, purpose.
Yes. Okay. So I might as well get to this. I think this is the last thing on my list anyway. Oh, real quick, I am doing a it'll already be out by the time I'm published this, but this sit down Saturday that I'm doing for this Saturday is a retrospective look at Fans Toys Superion.
Oh. Like the process of it.
I've compiled all the sit down Saturdays about it. Because it dates back to 2017.
Does it really?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's fourth quarter 2017.
They showed it at Transforming Convention, didn't they?
It was initially just put out.
Okay.
It was just a Fans Toys drop on the internet. So I have Shattered Cast conversations from it. Like I have Dummies conversations from it. I have If It Teases the Court, which is a show I used to do, conversations about it. And I'm compiling it all and then like giving commentary in between of like, you know, pay attention to that, like where my mind was there and, you know, how wrong I was here and how right I was here, or, you know, how completely left of center I was there and how hopeful I was here, how angry I was here. You know, like there's just, it's a fascinating look because there's no running from it. You know, it just
7-year fucking journey.
Yeah. And then lastly, I watched episode 2 of Chimp Crazy.
So this is the.
So you guys weren't here last week.
Well, I've heard of this. So it's like Tiger King but monkeys.
Yes, and
So it's right up your alley.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So Chimp Crazy episode 1 was amazing. Chimp Crazy episode 2 is even.
What is this on?
It's on Max.
Okay.
So it's
I have access.
It's this family. I mean, most of like the films that you think of that have apes in them, they all kind of come from this place. They're all fucked up, you know, and they
The apes are the family.
yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say both.
So this there was a number of things that were interesting about it, but one was there's this one ape Tonka. Right? You feeling the vibe already? And this motherfucker Tonka is no joke. But he was a nice friendly lad, you know, for the first 6-7 years of his life.
I mean, that's how they are. I think.
Correct. But they have this, like, he's the one that they all kind of love the most, was Tonka. Well, PETA gets involved and like shuts down the place.
Fucking PETA.
I agree with you, however,
I mean, not that they're
probably
wrong all the time.
greater
but
good
they-
thing here, probably right choice. Anyway, they get these apes and they take it to this ape
Sanctuary.
safe place.
Yeah.
And when they get there, they're like, all right, let's get all 7 of them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there any more apes in the truck? They're missing one.
Oh no.
They don't have him. So then they go back. They're like, where the fuck is, let me go through the list here. Tonka. Where the fuck is Tonka? Oh, Tonka died. We cremated him. We're going to need some evidence for that. Here's a letter from the cremator. We burned him at 165 degrees and they're like, that's not how cremation
It's
works.
like 400 and
Right. So then they're like, well, here's his ashes. You know, and it's like
in a little bag.
it's a bag of ashes. But they're like, well, that's not accurate either, because according to your notes, where you burned him on this fire pit and then you collected the ash of the fire pit, what you have failed to realize is that when you cremate someone, the ashes get collected and most of the bone and stuff is still broken, but
They're fragments.
big fragments, and they put it through a pulverizer, and the pulverizer creates the dust bag that we know of as ashes. So do you guys you guys have a pulverizer? And they're like, well, no. And they're like, well, then where the fuck is Tonka? And they're not fessing up to it. And at the very end, they show secret footage before episode 3, teasing you, bringing you in. You know what I mean? They got motherfucking Tonka in the basement. Motherfucking Tonka's in the basement. Dude, this fucking show is the shit.
Wait, is this is
A
fiction,
documentary
right?
now.
No.
Like a documentary like Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
And this is on Max. you said?
Because it sounds like a show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And this woman that's like, she's not the boss, but she's like kind of like if Junior was the boss, she's the Tony Soprano. She is in a tanning booth half the show. She's getting lipo injections in her lips half the show. Like, she is a treat. You know what I mean? A real princess, Joey. But this bitch is a goddamn loon. And anyway, I love it. So I was talking about it with a couple guys yesterday, and they were like, well, let's fucking put it on. They put it on for like 20 minutes, and I was like, so that gets you a gist. They're like, oh, no. No one's going anywhere until this shit's over. That's great. And everybody locked in to watch this shit until it was done.
Is that week by week?
Yeah, it's episodic.
How many?
They're 2 episodes in.
I mean, how many is they going to be?
IDK.
Don't know.
But it's great because, like, for me anyway, because, like, a lot of buddies of mine are watching it now. So, like, every week we're going to be able to, like, you know what I mean, get into it.
That's funny.
But one thing they talked about was a whole other incident, which I ended up Googling. So, another ape who actually is connected to this ensemble was an ape named Travis, another chimpanzee. They don't really deal so much with the other great apes, just pretty much chimps. And side story to that, I'm going to interrupt for a second. One of the people that I hang around now in my day-to-day life is he's like, I have my group of friends, and then he's there as well. A newer friend. And he's going to be great, but he's very young in country. One could argue simple, but he's going to be great.
Okay, you can be simple and great.
Yeah. So he said, we're having a conversation about apes now. Ape behavior, ape dynamics, family we're getting in the woods, in the weeds for apes. We're getting in the forest for apes.
Fair enough.
He interrupts and he's like, when I was in high school, my best friend had a shirt with a chimpanzee face on it. And the chimpanzee was wearing sunglasses. And underneath it said, Big Chimpin.
No. Is this your people, Chris? Is this?
Actually, it kind of is. He's a Carroll County boy.
I lay no claim to people in Carroll County, but I understand what you mean.
Big Chimpin. So anyway, they sold this ape Travis to this lady Sandy, and Sandy actually owned, I think, a tow truck business. And because the ape is like $40,000, they range from 30 to 60. I'm somewhat of an expert now. So this, I think Travis was $40,000, and they kind of use Travis. They take care of Travis. They feed Travis. They love Travis. Like, they treat it like a child, They're just not like neglected or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Travis kind of becomes like the logo or the mascot for their tow truck company, right? They take pictures of him like manning the phones, and they, you know what I mean? Like, they take pictures of him dude, fucking Travis learns how to drive.
Oh my God.
Like accelerator and brake. What this ape is able to learn and do is extraordinary. He's like the cops, because the cops and tow truck companies work hand in hand all the time. So the cops like stop by, hang out with Travis a little bit, and Travis plays with their guns. Just kidding about that part. But
he learned how to reload a 9mm.
Yeah, but they're having a great time with Travis, right? Well, Travis is getting older.
He's gonna lose his shit.
Losing his shit.
Yep.
So he gets out. Or I don't know if he gets out. He might be just on the grounds. Woman pops up who has known Travis forever, known the family forever, has fed Travis while the family's been away on vacation or whatever, took care of Travis. And Travis loves Elmo. Mm-hmm. So she shows up with an Elmo doll as like just a random gift for Travis. Travis rips her hands and face off.
Yep. Not surprised.
There's a 911 call where this lady's, you can hear it. She's like, the monkey is killing her. It's killing her. So the dispatchers think it's somebody fucking with them. Mm-hmm. Like I have a monkey ripping a face off of a, and in the background you hear like,
So this is a gorilla or a
chimp?
No, chimp.
So I believe, does that lady look like a Muppet now?
Yes.
Okay. This all ties together beautifully from in my head because I was thinking about that particular incident because she came on. I don't think
Oprah.
Was it Oprah? I couldn't remember if it was Oprah. Yeah, or if Oprah was done by then. And like she looks like a fucking Muppet.
Yeah, she had like no nose.
They like made her this kind of face, and
Like
it
Elmo.
literally looks like not Beaker, but his friend from the Muppets, the other scientist guy, not the but that really plain face.
Yeah, her name is Charla Nash.
Don't fuck with apes.
And
I remember
initially,
hearing this story.
so this is like a low res image, but that's her initially after they put her face back together. The monkey the ape ripped both her eyeballs out, ripped her nose off, most of her face off. They reconstructed kind of a Muppet-esque nose. They reconstructed a mouth for her to use. She has no eyes. And then later on, she got a face transplant. Because I ended up doing research on this too, and that's what she looks like now. And she's got like fake eyes. Her face is much more human.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I mean, hat and sunglasses, you're not even going to notice. I'm just being honest,
And then she has like one thumb. It's like her arm kind of comes down to one thumb on one arm, and then the other arm is like just above, like just below the elbow, and it's gone. And anyway, the cop that shows up to handle it, he says he's like, "What the fuck?" Like when he gets there, he says the ape comes up and rips the fucking car door off of the fucking car, like rips the door off of the fucking vehicle and just holds his hands up in the air. And the way the cop describes it is, he was looking, he's like, I didn't hear anything, and I'm not an insane person, but I swear to you, he and I had this connection for just a minute, and he was telling me, fucking do it. I can't take any more. Do it. And this fucking cop like unloaded on this ape, and the ape still survived, went back into the house, and then I think laid down and died. But fucking crazy.
How many times has this shit happened before people start fucking with apes? There's another guy who like got his fucking dick ripped off.
Yeah, and then Harambe,
Yeah.
the little baby,
that's when he was our core being on this planet. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
And nothing's been the same since Harambe.
I think it's true. Wow. But, I mean, like I've always felt bad about. I never like apes being in captivity anyway, because they are fucking. They're not less of it. They're very, very people. They're very close to being people.
Yeah, very, very close.
Like
You might say 98.4% close.
Yeah, some of them can. Didn't Coco sign language and had a kitten. This one learns how to drive. They're very fucking people adjacent, and buying and selling and trading them and keeping them locked up is very fucking close to slavery.
Yeah,
We just need one cancer cure, and they're going to be smart, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what happens in the apes?
Yeah. But it's
just a morality thing, man. And also the fact that they're known to get fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Michael had to get rid of Bubbles because Bubbles was getting crazy.
Yeah,
right?
because Bubbles was getting mad. So with that, we can move on to notes. I'm going to call the episode Big Chimpin. So R.I.P. Sid Vicious. Do you want to talk about this at all?
Yeah, so first I want to show the clip that the internet is most famous. He's most famous on the internet for.
Your opponent come in. Now, Sid Vicious up on top. Oh, that is look at the left foot.
That is so difficult to watch. We've seen it already.
Another angle.
Already so many times, and it's still just so...
Once again isolated. The foot.
This is awful to watch. Just rewatch this 8 times.
Yeah.
Well, they replayed it. So Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid. He went by so many names over the years. I wasn't a huge fan of his. I didn't think. I wasn't a huge fan of his work. I just didn't enjoy the whole.
Something you said there just reminded me of Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate. He was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, so many names." Just call me Dad.
Yeah. So he worked for all the major promotions. He held heavyweight titles in every promotion. They brought him in WWF to feud with Hogan at one point, and then Sid loved softball to the point where he would just stop showing up for wrestling because he wanted to go play softball.
He should have been a softball player.
And he worked for. He wrestled a little town. He would come work indie shows, all the time. I never had any interaction with him. Seemed like a great guy. Of course, a lot of times people pass away and the good stuff comes out. I don't know any, but Booker T said that when him and his brother were breaking into WCW, like they stayed with him because they just started making some money, and he did a lot of good stuff for people. And he had cancer and kind of kept to himself. He actually wrestled after that incident. Not nothing major, but he did wrestle. He showed up on I think some sort of like anniversary show for Monday Night Raw in 2017, and might have wrestled a couple times after that. But yeah, it was sad to see that he passed. It's been exactly a year since Bray Wyatt passed away, so it was interesting weekend for that. But yeah, rest in peace, Sid.
Rest in peace, Sid. Thoughts and prayers to fans, friends, and family. Yeah. There was a Space Marine 2 trailer.
Oh, can't wait. That's the next game I'm looking forward to. But Monster Hunter Wilds is what I'm really looking forward to.
Who does it look like the villain is?
Tyranids.
Okay, I kind of was watching.
The first one's more orcs. Yeah,
they get into some other shit. It's not just
chaos.
Orcs. Yeah.
You always have that fucking chaos in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I was excited. I don't think
it looks great.
I don't think it's available in anything I have, but I'm excited about the prospect of it.
Oh, yeah. PlayStation 5, I assume, PC, newest Xbox, whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's for the last gen system anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you can use my PS5 if you want to play it.
There you go.
I only use it to watch YouTube.
There was another thing that I saw. Former Lynn County man accused of defrauding dozens of comic book collectors, arrested. A former Lynn County resident who was arrested in Marion County on Wednesday is facing multiple charges related to the alleged theft of $300,000 worth of collectible comic books and related restoration fees.
Restoration.
So before you read this, he was taking stuff to send off and get slabbed and never did it.
Yeah, so
that would be my guess.
Lynn County Sheriff Michelle Duncan said that Michael DeCellis, 57, of Almsville, was arrested on August 14th following an extensive investigation that began in February 2024. A victim in Maryland told... Let's make some noise from Maryland. Told LCSO officials that he'd sent 4 comic books valued at nearly $62,000 to Hero Restoration in Lebanon in February 2019, and also paid DeCellis more than $5,000 for restoration services. Authorities said the victim told them that DeCellis had not returned his comic books, had not refunded his money, and stopped communicating with him. Lynn County authorities soon identified 19 other customers of DeCellis from multiple states who reported similar circumstances to the first victim, with a collective value of $300,000 for the alleged stolen comic books and restoration fee losses. Lynn County Sheriff officials said that the customers lived in Connecticut. Oh, it doesn't matter. But learned that he began dissolving his business in 2023 through the Secretary of State's office. Authorities and investigators located DeCellis on August 14th in Almsville, where he was arrested and transported to Lynn County Jail. Faces charges that include 10 counts of aggravated first-degree theft, 7 counts of first-degree theft, and racketeering.
And get him on mail fraud, too, since people ship him stuff across state line.
Yeah, and the case is under continued investigation, and anyone with similar complaints regarding this gentleman.
Are you familiar with that whole industry, basically?
Not really.
So I'll give you the
just kind of peripherally.
So I've got an associate, a friend on Facebook that is a lawyer by trade down in Alabama, but he also owned a comic book shop. The comic book shop I used for years. It's it's a friend on Facebook, whatever. But he will buy stuff that's say slabbed at an 8.6, and he'll look at like what the defects are, and a lot of the time he can press it out and get it up to above a 9 or a 9.5.
Make it worth more.
So he does that for people. So that's. I'm assuming this guy had gotten a reputation for getting 7s and 8s up to 9s and 9.5s and 9.8s or whatever. And it could have just been a case where he just got in over his head. And like, I have 10,000 comic books I need to work through. There's no way I'm ever going to, to not even return the books though, that's pretty fucking shit.
It seems like on purpose they recharge. Well, did we have a guy in the not we, but peripherally, we were in the Transformers fan. We had a guy that was like that, right? Is from Rumble Frenzy or some shit. It was like doing customs and takes.
Oh yeah, but
money
I didn't know. I don't know.
This has happened many times. I mean, I can tell you there was a diorama guy. I won't say his name, but he was a pretty well known guy for dioramas, and he had like I had 4 or 5 people contact me because I was an ad. I think I probably told this story at some point. I was an admin on a diorama group.
Jazzing, was it that one?
No. They're legit. They're good.
Okay.
This was just this guy's name.
Oh, okay.
He and I have the same first name, but I was an admin on this diorama group, and all these people were because he was also an admin. And I was like, hey, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was like, well, yeah, I sent him $500. And somebody forwarded me an email. He's like, my mental health is awful. I've moved. I don't have my tools. I don't have your money. I don't have your work. If you'd like to go after me through PayPal, please feel free. I'm sorry. So
it's fuck. I guess at least there's a response, but it's still fucked up.
It's a fucked up response, but I mean, just
you took people's money.
Yeah,
it's at least refund them.
Taking people's money sucks, but if you take people's money and their stuff,
yeah,
and there's horror stories out there. Like I sent this person a figure and $100 worth of custom parts, and they're going to build this figure, and I paid them $200 to do it, and they've never sent me anything, and they've taken my. I mean, that happens. You go in any collector group.
Even people who has like good reputation, right? You're like, oh, this guy has good reputation. He's done tons of work, and then one day he just fucks off.
I mean, that would be like if we put out a new pre-order for something, and I got in 20, 30 orders, and just never fucking did them. Sorry, just ghosted everybody, right? You ruin your rep. You do that once, you ruin your reputation, and. That really sucks though. I mean, $30,000 for the comics. That's
$300,000.
Oh, $300,000. So that could have been 10 books, or could have been 1,000 books, right? Yeah. So who knows? You might have had some heat in there, but it makes you wonder where those comics went. If he still has them, or if he just sold them. Or
Agreed. Anyway, and then bundle it. So we just kind of cover this stuff always. So. Comcast announces Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus streaming bundle to the Comcast cable service.
So back to the cable.
Yep.
Stupid.
So I mean, I have Xfinity, Comcast, whatever, at the house. I mean, the reason we have TV is it's the price for the top quality internet is the same whether you get the package we got. At least you could get the phone, which we have a home phone,
the bundle.
We got the bundle.
Yeah.
And it's the same price as just the internet. That's why I have cable or, whatever TV.
I refuse.
But if they offer a discount on those services through that could possibly work. Because I think Netflix is like $25 a month now.
Yeah. I've told this story before when I got rid of Comcast.
Yeah. You're like, no.
Because they billed me twice and then cut my service and then didn't want to refund me well, I didn't pay the second bill. But they cut my service, and I was like, well, I want my bill for the next month prorated. I just want you to shave, I think it was 2 days.
Yeah.
I want you to shave 2 days off of it. And they refused. And I was like, cool, cut the cable out. And they were like, what? And I was like, cut the cable out. Cut the cable out, cut the phone out. And they were like, well, then you're going to spend more money for if you just get the internet. And I was like, oh, no, that's what I want. I want less services from you, and I'm willing to spend as much as it takes to not get more services from you.
Wow.
And then they sent me to their redundancy claims for the second billing.
Redundancy.
And the guy answered the phone. He was like, thank you for calling the Office of Redundancy Office. How may I help you? and I was like, dude, I've had a really bad day with Comcast so far, but I'm going to start fresh with you because I caught that and I liked it. And he's like, nobody ever catches it.
That's great.
Okay, and then the last one is Lost in Space. So these astronauts.
Oh yeah, they're stuck out there, and spacesuits aren't compatible. It's like apples and fucking Google.
And we got shows about apes fucking people up at the same time.
It's time.
The writing's on the wall.
So we normally there's normally at least 4 people off planet.
Yeah,
and I think these makes it. I think maybe that makes it 6 or 8 that are up.
This
there
has been a long time since we've everybody on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, I read something about that recently that since X date, you've never been on the planet with everybody.
Every single person.
Because somebody's always up there manning that.
Yeah.
Dilapidated space station. They're going to have to deal with it at some point.
But yeah, that's fucking. When it comes down to comes down to compatibility of technology. That's funny, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to return in February now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, this was Boeing's first launch, and it did not go well. They got pushed back several times. Docking is supposed to take like 30 minutes, and it took like 4 hours. And
Boeing it doesn't have the best of times this year.
So Boeing's CEO went before Congress recently, like for a hearing, and they tore him to shreds.
Yeah, they're not having a good year.
Yeah, about shit's happening with, yes,
People getting killed.
well, the door sucking off the airplane that time, and a couple other problems they've had with those big planes, and I get it, it sucks, but if you look at it from 10,000 feet, it's like how many
In the air?
Yeah. If you look at how many flights there are every day, right? Look, everybody wants everybody to be safe, and you want to feel comfortable getting on an airplane, but at the same time, like how much of that it was user error versus something. I mean, the door obviously was not user, unless somebody didn't latch it, but it looks like it just ripped out.
Well, it's like Superman said, like, hope it doesn't sway you from air travel, folks. Statistically, still the safest way to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, I always think about like fucking Peanut, right? Like Peanut works on airplanes.
Yes.
I'm like, it sounds like I'm like,
He did. He doesn't anymore.
well, you know what I mean? But I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, like,
Oh, I'm going to say this on here. I've had this idea. So, speaking of Peanut, I always give him a hard time about his horse jail.
yeah.
So one night I was just thinking about stuff and giggling, and let me see if I can find it in here. I wrote I was like, this would be a great shirt, and I may make it still. Fulcher's Horse Jail for all your equine discipline needs. Transforming troublemakers since 2005.
Perfect.
So I think I'm gonna make Tyler that shirt. Fulcher's Horse Jail.
And then I think the only thing we have.
They're gonna have this stranded astronaut back home on Earth supposedly before I get my fucking my teeth cleaned.
Yep.
Yeah. So the whole time
That's-
you're waiting to get your teeth cleaned, those guys aren't. They're cleaning their teeth.
Let's see here. Okay, so then we just have questions. So,
Hey, Bobby, real quick.
yes, sir.
If someone did want to send a question, where could they send it?
I'm glad you asked, Chris.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
So, this is from Draven, who says, good morning, afternoon, or evening, my fellow Ragers. I actually responded to this email.
Okay.
Because he sent it in like a half hour after we recorded.
Oh, man.
And I was like, just want to let you know, we're not ignoring you, but you sent this at the worst possible time, so it's going to be on the next show, which is about a week and a half from now.
And we can't really ever tell you when a good time is to send it.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
on Sunday mornings is a good time to send it.
Yeah.
But sidebar. Speaking of Draven, the Crow remake is getting terrible reviews.
It's funny. Past 3 times I went to the theater, they showed that trailer, and every time I've leaned over to who I'm with and said, I have absolutely no interest in seeing this film.
Yeah.
It's just,
Some things don't need a remake. Also.
Agreed.
You can make
I
it
mean,
be.
I haven't. I've probably seen the first one like when it came out, and it just kind of lived in infamy because Brandon Lee's death during the.
And it was a good revenge superhero movie.
Yeah. And it's like the Crows are like you can have multiple different entities. You didn't have to remake that guy.
Yeah.
You can make like there was a sequel, which
There
is a
was
different guy.
City of Angels or something. It
Yeah.
wasn't very good,
No, it wasn't. And there was a TV show.
which I imagine was
Mark DeCosta.
Yes, the guy who was a chairman in Iron Chef.
who is a bad guy in John Wick 3.
Yes. But so they could have done a different Crow story, but the choice was to remake Brandon Lee's, which is kind of a setup, setting yourself up to begin.
For a lot more criticism. I think.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more story that you could just hold a different story in that world.
Exactly.
basically, Right. Yeah.
So, Draven says, good morning, afternoon, or evening, my fellow Ragers. Real quick, apologies on the length. There will be some thumb scrolling, so to speak. What's good, NRR crew? Just wanted to reach out and give a big thank you to everyone at the Cool Table, but especially Bobby. You see, I started listening to NRR during Bud Ice after a buddy of mine that turned me on.
Ayo.
Excuse me, so to speak. He called it to your reviews, told me about Nerd Rage, and have been a constant listener ever since. And recently joined the Patreon, where Wine and Cheese is becoming quickly number 2 after NRR. That makes some noise. I probably should have stayed away from the gunshots this episode.
Real quick,
yeah.
pause. It's really hard to listen to gangster rap now with my wife in the car. Please proceed.
The reason I'm thanking you is through your hours of podcasts and conversations over the years, it gave me the courage to start up my own podcast with the long-time tag team partner, yes, Chris, another worker with the podcast, and started our podcast, Heel Shit Podcast, in March of 2023. Now, little over a year, we have signed a deal with a marketing company and have started legitimately being compensated for our hard work.
Wow.
Interesting. Tell us how you did that.
Even though,
I thought we just gotta. We can't.
we just gotta.
We just gotta email and say we
just
we're not
gotta email saying
monetized.
you did not pass the safe code. Even though we have had the sponsors in the
Didn't see
past,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you.
Finish that.
even though we have had sponsors in the past and continue to do so, it wasn't a viable source and was at one point putting us in a financial hole. But seeing how you have kept everything afloat and dare I say thriving, we carried on and now not only is our pod self-sustaining, we are beginning to thrive as well and could not have had the courage to start up HSP, Heel Shit Podcast, let alone go through the growing pains without your inspirations, good sirs. You and everyone at the Cool Table are an inspiration, and words cannot express my gratitude towards you guys. So again, thank you for being you and giving this nerd some great conversations to listen in on. Draven. P.S. Ask Pinkerton if he ever hears an update about Savage Dragon. It's been over 2 years since we've had any updates.
Savage.
That used to be a bit here. Do you know?
It was. I mean, so we always fantasize that The Rock would be
Savage.
would be the Savage.
Dude, how long has Gambit been a fucking meme in this fucking podcast?
So
Years.
I will tell you, hanging in my office is a picture that Marilyn Phil drew of The Rock as Savage Dragon, and Bobby donated his original Savage Dragon figure that is mounted on the top of the picture frame. So it does live in infamy, although we might not miss it. And I'm also waiting on my invite to the Heel Shit podcast
because you're familiar with it.
No, I'm not, but
it's a wrestling.
It's a wrestling podcast, and I like to talk about wrestling. There, Draven.
Yeah, hit him up.
Hit me up.
Also, real quick, speaking of Gambit, I just saw a thing on Instagram today where on one of the screens in the TVA, there's a screen with Gambit in it, whereas the end of that universe is coming. You see a spiral in the reflection of his eye of a Doctor Strange portal,
which is great.
Yeah, they didn't show bodies for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Open things they can do.
Tyler L. wrote in, Tyler the Collector. He said, "Hello, gents. Back again with another Would You Rather. Would you rather laugh uncontrollably every time you see someone naked for the first time, or fall in love immediately with every person you see naked?" Definitely the
laughing.
The former, the laughter. Yeah.
I'm thinking about
yes, definitely. I
see too many naked people all the time.
I can't go into all the reasons why, but definitely the laughter one.
Yeah, definitely the laughter one. So real quick on that, and I haven't been here, so I'm sure you've talked about it. Do we think that this Joker sequel is a musical?
So I don't know. They have said as such.
And the trailer would lead you to believe that.
Yes, but the music, music was a big part of the first one too. So I just don't know if it's lowercase m.
There's going to be
maybe there's 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
Do you consider classic Disney movies to be musicals? I'm assuming
Define
it's like
classic.
Okay, Lion King.
90s.
Lion King.
Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. They have a lot of musical numbers.
So those.
But they're not necessarily musical unless you're seeing them on stage.
But at the same time,
so I would say lowercase m.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this might be like that.
Yeah,
have a few music numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Lady Gaga can sing.
Oh, that's another reason I'm leaning into. I think it's going to be a musical.
I don't think they're going to be singing the entirety of the thing like a.
Watch out, bad road, man.
Yeah. Okay, Fungul. He writes in and says, "I just want to know what you guys think about some Transformers having mustaches and why, if they were going to give them facial hair, they didn't just go all the way and give Jazz an afro. He could have transformed into a giant hand and just pimp slapped the shit out of Sea Spray or that Mr. Belvedere sounding one. Hoist, I think his name is.
Belvedere.
Shit would have
Don't act like you don't know, bro. Come on."
He said shit would have got real dumb like this question. Strike dumb shit from the records. I may or may not have been drinking when I sent this earlier, and even though those robots, I'm sure, is racist, I don't go for that shit. I just want to know what you guys think about some Transformers having mustaches and why, if they were going to give them facial hair, they didn't just go all the way and give Jazz an afro.
Well, I mean,
None of them have hair.
As someone who has been involved in producing an action figure, a transforming action figure, specifically with a mustache, with our Nelson up here, it was a conscious decision because, I mean, even in wrestling, the best way to tell who's a bad guy is who's got facial hair, right? So if you have a mustache, you've turned heel, right? So I don't know, it's just an easy thing. And also, I think was it Nemesis Rodimus Prime? They put a mustache on. I'm like, fuck it, it's a mustache.
All I can think of is fucking Alpha
It's
Trion.
stupid
Alpha Trion
because
Alpha
has a beard.
And then
Scourge has a beard. Well, mine
he's a
didn't.
Fu Manchu.
Mine didn't. I had to put a little cotton swab there originally.
There you go. I remember that. Maybe he was just a good guy.
Rekar? Rekar has...
Yeah, Rekar has some too.
Yeah.
It's
all about the lifestyle, maybe. I don't know.
He's like Mongolian, right? So he's a bike.
Kind of looks at it. Speaking of which,
far for me to say.
Speaking of,
that got me in big trouble last time, Jerry.
Speaking of,
I remember that. That was a while ago.
It just came up recently.
Really?
That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. The whole telling the whole story. Real quick before you, I just want to say there is something interesting about as people do cycle through, right? For me, I get new people jumping on. I get old people taking a break. I get whatever the case may be. I get old people that maybe I offend, and last Joe Button always says, shout out to the first time listeners and the last time listeners. There is something to that, and it is sometimes I don't tell these stories because I'm like, man, I've told them before and people know them and I don't want to bore people, but I just told that one recently and the amount of people were like, dude, I've never heard that, or I hadn't heard it in that much detail or whatever, or that concise.
It's been a long time since you said that.
Yeah.
It's been years, maybe.
Yeah, so that's on Patreon for those that are curious, but it's a show that Sony and I are doing. It's basically about YouTube and shit.
nice. Sony's a good guy.
That was you're testing that. Is it going well?
Yeah, it's going well. It's going well.
I was just we were talking about Junkions. I'm joking about you. Bobby, did you happen to see that? Was it I think TF Source had those, they did 28 different X-Trans.
Yeah.
They had them for $40 a piece.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Just clearing them out. They had a bunch of
that's cost, I would imagine.
Well, so that's what I actually asked somebody else in the industry about that, and they're like, I guess they're just killing it. I said, did the relationship end? He said, I guess they're just trying to get rid of some inventory.
I mean, it's really old at this point. You're just sitting in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those
you gotta get rid of that stuff at some point.
So here, I think they brought out those original Junkions. I remember this when I still live in Alabama. They went for pre-order because I at one point toyed with the idea of getting them, but you had to get that other one. You couldn't just get regular. You had to get Junkeep or whatever.
Yep.
And then the plan they had shown was we're going to release, I think, 6 or 8 different ones.
4 more.
Yeah, well,
for a total of 6.
But it was 2 years later by the time they did that. And apparently those don't have die cast at all. They're just plastic. That's what I was told last night. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I would imagine they just couldn't move them, like that. I bought 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they were kind of the most iconic, in my opinion, extra bonus ones, the one with the shades and then the other.
Yeah.
And
I love a guy with the shades.
And then I just called it. I was like, because that's how much
you don't need.
You don't need
fucking 8 of them.
And Chris, you are right. I think they showed 8 or 12 at first. And
I think you can move the parts around and stuff and probably make as many as you want.
But then they ended up releasing 4 unique ones after the initial 2. So this next question is from Marshall.
Hi, Marshall. It's Ken Kniff from Connecticut, Nick.
Yeah. He says, hey guys, hope you all had a great week. Do you think a symbiote could take over a Cybertronian? That's question 1.
A symbiote.
I don't think so because it's biological.
Like a Venom suit.
Yeah, it's biological.
Yeah, I think it's biological.
I mean, they could definitely write the story.
Yeah. If there's a miniseries comic run created on this, who would you like to see Venomized in a crossover?
From where?
I guess so. If there was a Transformers comic book made, who would you like to see get
Venom?
Yeah, get Venom. I mean,
Grimlock.
Wheelie.
That's good. The Grimlock's a good one. Wheelie's a bad one.
I mean, Grimlock was the first one, just because
IDW
in dinosaur
Overlord.
mode?
IDW Overlord.
Oh, bro, that's a menace. that would be a
Starscream. Starscream would be interesting.
Just a huge cock off. Yeah, I think
Soundwave and the tapes.
Little
Venom minions.
I'll tell you, I think that Venom movie or next one coming looks really bad, but I do think the horse looks really cool.
Horse is cool.
And then he says possibly bludgeon for his choice. The organic shell provides some believability, and a venom robot samurai is exactly the type of rawtism I'm into. All right, and then we got another one that is an anonymous one. Okay, gents, time to pick your poison.
But you know how to get.
I'm guessing this is just Tyler, the collector again. I can. Let's just see. Yeah. Either never be able to wipe your ass in the same room you pooped in, or have 2 different size butt cheeks, noticeably different sizes, like a B cup and a D cup. Hopefully you guys are finding these funny. If you want me to continue, send it. Let me know. Of course, yeah, always. Yeah. By all means.
That would work if you're one of those guys who is a fucking boomer and still have like a 5-inch wallet. Then you can put it on a small cheek.
The George Costanza wallet.
When you sit, it'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, but I don't need to wipe my ass at all.
I mean, listen, I'll
really
just a bidet.
Oh, okay.
Or just go wash my ass.
I sent up to wipe my ass anyway, so it's taking a couple steps.
Doesn't even count.
Take
a couple steps.
End of the day. Holy shit, life changing.
Yeah.
Just jump in the shower, man.
Yeah, I would go. I would use a different room.
I would not want different size ass cheeks.
I can deal with it.
There's so many things that's going to go wrong with your life if you have different size ass cheeks.
Only place I would make myself pretty uncomfortable. Work.
I mean, you're weird with the way you poop in the first place.
You just button up everything and walk to the other room and.
Oh, I could walk to a different bathroom.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
it'd be a lot more wiping work now.
Yes, because it also depends. You know, the opposite. You know, sometimes you poop and it's completely clear. It's just a big old solid turd.
My favorites.
And then there's the opposite. The ones where you keep wiping and you just never ends.
Enough. It's like the dentist not being happy with your flossing.
There's a Sharpie up there.
So you do one of those, and by the time you get to a different room, you would have completely have a juicy crack. Completely mashed up.
Yeah.
You might as well shower at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all we got. I'll double check everything just to make sure. I'm getting a Hot Toys tomorrow.
Wow.
How are you?
Well, what is it?
89 Batman.
Oh, really?
89 Batman.
I remember when that went up for pre-order.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't gotten any.
Where's that going? Here?
Yeah, with Joker over there.
Oh, over there.
Yeah. I'm going to check the Nerd Rage notes page and just make sure, just because we got a quick minute. We're good.
I got the Transformers turtle party wagon in the gift exchange. I'm really excited.
Nice. Yeah. Was there any? What was of the gift exchange? What was like the best and trashiest?
So some people brought gag gifts. Like some people brought little smaller things, but like. There was a Krusty the Clown doll that I wanted, and I was the first one to do any nefarious stealing. I stole that, but we had to worry if something gets stolen 3 times, you can't steal it anymore. So that was popular. There was a Storm Collectibles Gotcha Man figure.
Okay.
No, it's not Gotcha Man. It was a Gotcha Man, Battle of the Planet.
Yeah, that's Gotcha Man.
Yeah,
the bird people.
Yeah, that one got moved around a lot. I'm trying to think of the other ones. There's Cosmic Legion's figure moved around a bit. What was the one somebody brought? I want to say somebody brought like a Once a Man Cobra Commander, and that got moved around a bit.
Oh, I bet
it was a great time. It was very fun activity.
Yeah.
So,
God bless them.
God bless them. God bless them.
God bless them. I know September looks like it's fucked, which is sad news. I do have a couple new people to add into the rotation here for backup because it's been a rough summer, and I feel like I've depleted my resources. I can't be asking these motherfuckers to come out all the time, But the 2 people that have expressed interest, big personalities, so I'm hoping that they come through. And on top of that, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, and I know September is fucked, but I really wanted to get together for a Nerd Rage After Dark behind the scenes discussion.
Okay.
So as your schedule clears up.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'm here weekends for sure.
Yeah.
Evenings I feel like
I might be able to do this weekend.
In general.
That would actually probably work out pretty good for me.
This weekend?
If you wanted to do that this weekend.
All right, let me talk to Laura and see if Saturday's free.
Yeah, it would be the solo creep, but for me.
Yeah. No, just a solo.
Okay.
Yeah. Come through and maybe if we got nothing planned, I gotta make sure we got nothing.
Yeah, just check the calendar.
Shit.
I'm out. I'm actually going to DC to watch wrestling Friday night.
Speaking of which, it is Jana's 16th birthday party, and since she's not quite ready for a car, we didn't go that anywhere close to that route. She just got her learner's permit, so we got.
Shout out to learners.
Mine has her learner's permit, and I think she's driven like twice on the back road. She's scared to death.
Yeah, mine is.
Which I'm okay with.
She did that? That class is a motherfucker.
The permit thing?
Yeah, like I don't know if you have to take it before the permit or not, but my kid had to do like a 2-week online class.
Nah, I don't know. I didn't
she did it virtual. I think you can do it in person.
Maybe you should have come to Carroll County and gotten it.
I think it's a Maryland thing, though, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. She could have done it. And I just missed that.
But it was it was a bear. But she did like the teacher. I told the story about the designate. Yeah, I told this story about the.
I'm just confused at these kids like not wanting to drive, and I'm just like,
it's a different world, man. Everything's right here. Everything's in their hands.
But it's not though. Like if you want to grab some McDonald's or some shit or taco, whatever. Like if you just want to go to the shop for something you need. Right. I understand you don't have to. I hate going out too, but the convenience of being able to get up and go, I don't understand not wanting that.
Yeah, different world, man. I mean, the day I turned 16, day I turned 15, I got my permit. The day I turned 16, I knew pretty much how to drive that 4-speed in that S10, but I fucking learned that day.
So I didn't
97 cents a gallon.
I didn't start driving until I was damn near 18.
Yeah,
but everywhere I went, I either caught the bus, I walked, or somebody had a car.
So my birthday's in November, so I was actually behind all my friends. So I was riding around with people forever, and I'm like, I'd already bought a truck when I was 15, so I was ready to roll.
Yeah, mine was pretty late.
That's also different though. When we lived in Columbia,
yeah, you guys.
And Laurel, it was pretty easy to get around. Whereas Pinkerton lived,
right? No, I agree. There's not even a sidewalk. There's not even a sidewalk.
Yeah, no,
there's not.
Like I remember walking to Columbia Mall. It took like fucking an hour, but that was normal.
I remember walking to the Piggly Wiggly to work 3, 4, 12.
You had to be careful on that path to the bridge, though.
Yes,
because they get you there.
Yep.
They get you there. You fuck around, you end up being responsible for the name of an apartment complex change.
Hey yo,
it's a true story though. That motherfucker went from Copperstone to Stevens Forest Apartments like that. Anyway, so shout out to Marilyn Phil on Twitter and on our notes. Shout out to Dante on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's been coming through to help supplement the show. I do appreciate everybody coming out. Fucking poor Chucky O's clutch gave out on his bike like 5 miles from here last week. Like limped it here, did the show, and then limped it home, like in Baltimore County.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I think shout out to Ricky Ticky Timber he did a video this week. He did a video this week. Apparently he's had some shit going on and he's back to doing videos. And he called me. He was actually very apologetic. And I was like, dude, you don't have to apologize. I was like, you got shit going on. It's a lot to do. It's a lot. It's a pain in the dick. I get it. I was
and
like,
you don't get paid for it.
And you don't get paid for it. So I was like, look, I told him, I was like, look, like if you because he really wanted to do it. I was like, okay, but let's just make an agreement that if it falls through the cracks again, we'll just all agree it's too much and we'll let it go.
Yeah.
With no hard feelings.
There's other ways to do what he's doing that he and I need to have a conversation again about it.
Yeah. So with that,
Flappy Labius.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.